You're listening to Girls with Grafts, a burn community podcast created by Phoenix Society for Burn Survivors, a leading nonprofit dedicated to supporting the burn community. In this podcast, we'll talk with burn survivors, share resources to help with supporting and improving burn recovery, and discuss how to prevent burn injuries. Here are your hosts, burn survivors and Phoenix Society's marketing team, Amber Wilcox and Rachel Kudlak.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Girls with Grafts. I am Rachel Kudlak, one of the hosts of the podcast, and today's podcast is going to look and sound a little bit different. You won't be seeing Amber, and you're really only going to hear a little bit of me at the beginning and at the end. So if you're reading the title or you're joining us live, you'll know it's World Burns Week. And all week long, including today's podcast, we are celebrating the first ever World Burns Week. The mission of World Burns Week is to raise awareness about burns as a global health priority, advocate for equality in burn prevention, care, and survivorship, and promote international collaboration to reduce the burden of burns in low and middle income settings. Phoenix Society for Burn Survivors is honored to be part of World Burns Week and a member of the steering committee. The steering committee is a group of international burn organizations who have developed and planned the launch of World Burns Week. The vision of this week is to envision a world where burns are prevented and access to timely and effective care is equitable, regardless of location, income, gender, age, or ability. So like I said, all week long, the steering committee is hosting impactful discussions, seminars, and panels featuring predominant voices in the burn community. And real-time translation is available, and all sessions will be recorded. And we'll have all the links in our show notes and our show's description as well. So in honor of World Burns Week, we're turning over our hosting gig to our CEO, Amy Acton, and she's welcoming Dr. Onuh and Patience on as her guest. Dr. Onuh is a dedicated burn, plastic, and reconstructive surgeon from Nigeria with a passion for burn care. She advocates for multidisciplinary burn care and is actively involved in managing burn patients. Dr. Onuh is also committed to research, education, and prevention to reduce the burden of burns in her country. Through her work, she aims to improve outcomes for burn patients, burn survivors, and advance the field of burn care. Additionally, Dr. Onuh and Amy will be joined by Patience, who's also from Nigeria. Patience sustained a burn injury not that long ago, and you'll learn more about her and her journey in just a few. So without further ado, let me turn it over to Amy to get started on today's episode.
Well, I'm so excited for this conversation today during World Burns Week. We have some really special guests here from Nigeria. The Phoenix Society for many years has provided World Burn Congress, where often survivors from different countries will come and get connected to the broader burn community. So we're just very excited about World Burns Week, where it's bringing organizations and individuals that are committed to burn care around the world to really lift up the cause and bring it out of the shadows. It's a big global problem, and we've known that for years at the Phoenix Society. For over 50 years, we've been supporting survivors and their families, after burn injuries. So we're very committed to trying to prevent these injuries and also assuring that there is equity and quality care available for everybody. So one of the things we wanted to do this week was to invite some of our friends from around the globe to share their perspective of how burn care is delivered in their country, what are some of the successes, and what are some of the challenges. So today we want to welcome Dr. Onuh, who is a practicing physician in a residency in Nigeria, and also Patience, a survivor from her burn center in Nigeria. So as we start out, Dr. Onuh, I'd love to have you just share a little bit about what got you into burn care. How did you end up where you are today as a burn care physician?
Oh, yes, thank you, Amy, for the introduction. As you've said, I'm Dr. Onuh. I'm a fellow of plastic and reconstructive surgery. In my country, bone care is in the purview of the plastic and reconstructive surgeon. So when I did my rotation, my junior residency rotation in plastic and reconstructive surgery, I enjoyed my plastic surgery posting. I liked the bone patient I met, even though we had some patients that we had some successes and failures. And I was excited that when we put in so much work, patients walk out alive. So
Mhm.
that's one of the things that brought me to plastic and reconstructive surgery and even the care of burn patients. Usually an exciting thing. Sometimes we have this feeling of clapping for the patients at the exit of the burn unit when they are leaving, especially those patients that have major burns. We're usually thrilled to see them survive. So those are the kicks and excitement I have when I take care of them. And I'm usually very sad when I lose my patients. So it's just the success stories that made me fall in love with taking care of burn patients.
Wonderful. So those are some of the successes. Tell us a little bit about some of the challenges you have in providing burn care in Nigeria.
The main challenge we have is funds and manpower. Funds in the sense that most of our patients pay out of pocket. There are
Mm.
most of the patients pay out of pocket. They have to pay for their dressing materials, pay for their medications, no subsidized care for burn patients. We have very few non-governmental organizations coming to support burn patients. So as such, and as we know, burn care is expensive to manage in my country and even around the world. So that's one of the most the challenge we have. And apart from that, sometimes we have patients that present late. Late presentation is one of the problem, and people that live very far to come here. So some people that present late may have already gone to institute traditional practices before they come to our center. Because when they come in ill and septic, we usually sometimes struggle to keep them alive. Another challenge we have is manpower. We have shortage of manpower in our centers. So because of that, because of shortage of manpower, and then sometimes even the theater space to go and do surgeries, frequent surgeries. As we know, the standard of care now is early excision. But
Yeah.
because of finance, lack of finance by our patients, and even lack of manpower, sometimes that's not possible and attainable. So you see us practicing things like delayed excision, the 40 delayed excision of
Mm.
bone wounds, rather than the early within 72 hours. Within 72 hours, sometimes it's usually very difficult to attain that. So those are the challenges we have: funds, and then late presentation and manpower. Those are the main challenges we have
Okay.
in managing bone patients. Yes.
Yeah. So we were able to meet at the ISBI meeting,
Yes.
and talk about that experience of coming together with kind of the global burn care community. Was that your first time, or have you been to ISBI, International Association of Burn? Have you been there
Okay.
before?
Yes, I have. I first attended the congress in Mexico,
Mhm.
Guadalajara. Yes, that was 2 years. That was in 2020. This 2024. So that was in 2022. Yes, so 2022. So it was an exciting experience to meet born experts around the world. I met some friends and others. So, and then I didn't really meet any born survival group. As I told you, and it was exciting to meet you at the 2024 Congress in Birmingham, UK. In Prior to this, my attending the conference, I think the first conference I went because of one of my professors that encouraged me to go and make a presentation on his behalf. I was excited. I took up the opportunity, made all the plans, and ensured I went. And I really had fun going there. Apart from meeting people, and then the fact that I get to explore new places, I enjoyed that. And so when it was time for this year's own to hold, I already started planning that I was going to attend Birmingham. So it's really a nice experience meeting people, exchanging ideas. Now, regarding the bonds survivors, I was excited to meet you in Birmingham. As I rightly told you, we had a WhatsApp group for bond survivors that had been in place for over 3 years. We have the WhatsApp group. We add our survivors and tell them that they can ask questions. If they had any confusion, they could do that. The reason why I opened that group was that I heard that one of my patients that had been discharged was not happy about her appearance and was contemplating suicide and all those. So I was like, how do I help? So I now said, okay, maybe I should create a community where they can meet each other and encourage themselves, hoping that anybody that had any issue would be able to voice out. So that was the impetus that made me to start. And when I discussed with my consultant, Dr. Mrs. Tenayawi, she was like, "Oh, go ahead and open the WhatsApp group." So we opened the WhatsApp group. Other consultants are there, and we started adding all our survivors one after the other. Sometimes we don't add, so sometimes we have. And then when I met you, I remember I told you that I didn't know how to go ahead with making it active, like beyond the virtual space. How do we activate the group? And I'm grateful to your society for giving us materials to move to the point where we are now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's amazing. And I've only been to ISBI a few times, but I think bringing with World Burn Congress, where we bring survivors from around the world together, that sense of community and perspective just widens and broadens our approach to recovery as survivors and to care. So I think those opportunities are so important. And I know there's scholarships that ISBI provides some of the countries to come as well. So I guess my word here is get engaged with your community, whether it's providing the care or as a survivor or family member. I think that sense of community and shared knowledge is so powerful. So it was and Phoenix Society has been trying to be present in the medical meetings to help, again, expand our view of what recovery is and the needs of the survivor community as they live out in the community, chronic health issues that we experience as survivors, and kind of sharing that lived experience back with the burn care providers. So it was great to meet you. And I know we're continuing to work with you and your groups to help in any way we can. And this digital space allows us to do that. So we'll continue this relationship, I'm sure, long into the future. And thank you for yours. I mean, that's going above and beyond. A lot of physicians don't engage in those type of things. So I just want to commend you for seeing the need and acting upon it and taking it upon yourself to get that going. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Ami.
So I'm going to transition to Patience. I was fortunate to meet you through the doctor here, and I want to kind of have you share a little bit about your story and your experience about the care in Nigeria, and kind of your just personal experience.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Onuh. And I had my bones in 2019, December 9. This is 5 years. I had my bone at my workplace. I'm a cook. So that fateful morning, I went to work just to do the normal activities as a cook, only for me to turn on the gas. And what I heard was a loud sound. So I shouted and I ran out of the place, and I was taken to the National Hospital. That was where my story began. Reaching there, they confirmed that I had 75% bone. So we now started treatment. They welcomed me, treat me well. In fact, will I say our own doctors here, they are the most best doctors to take care of patients, because the love that they showed to me was overwhelming. She was one of them. So I really appreciate their love. That was where my healing begins, from their love and care they gave to me.
Yes.
Because if not for them, I thought I won't make it. Because I never believed that people even got born, not until it happens to me. And I get to know that people get born on daily basis. And with their love, that was where my healings begin. Although it was not easy, because having born, just waking up one early morning, looking beautiful and in a twinkle of an eye, you look like a monster that no one can recognize you. It was not really easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed for hospital there for about 2 months, taking care of me, treating me. After then, I went for 2 other surgery. Okay, they did a, a surgery for me there. That was a skin graft because they have to graft since it was intensive. So the healing was not fast. So they grafted. After the graft, I feel relieved and the pain was reduced.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not really easy for me, but with God by my side, my family, even them, the doctors encouraging me, praying for me, and I get out of it because seeing me, nobody believed I could make it.
Yeah.
Nobody believed I could make it. Even
Yeah.
I myself, although I was having the faith, but at times you will still feel like, am I going to make it?
Mm-hmm.
You surely ask yourself, but I was still strong and believe that I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
After 2 months, I was discharged.
Yeah.
So
So,
my discharge,
I was just going to say the recovery of somebody with that size of a burn, is that pretty typical, or is patient's recovery unique to your center? I mean, I know the ability to help survivors survive has grown in the US. Is it the same in Nigeria? And what does that look like in Nigeria?
sorry, I didn't get you.
For Dr. Onuh, I'm wondering if the survival rate, your burn patients, I think you said was like 75%. That's a really big burn.
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
that survival pretty typical of patients with that size burn, or what is the kind of survival rate in Nigeria from a burn injury?
Yes, initially it was low. The survival rate was low, but currently it has improved.
Okay.
It has improved. In my center, the best we've had was 96%, largely superficial partial thickness bonds. So for when we have patients that will not need, that have superficial partial thickness, large area, and they have funds available,
Yeah.
the survival rate improves. Initially, we're not having that success, but the best we've had is
Yeah.
96%. Patient's case was also unique. She didn't have funding challenge. Her her company where she worked, they provided
Mm,
all the funds she needed, so she had that.
yeah.
It has improved. I would say it
So
has
her
improved.
access to the care, because she had funds, was directly related to her survival, whereas those that don't have funding sometimes it wouldn't have made that recovery. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yes, sometimes when we have patients that have major burns, because we will not be able to proceed with getting dressing materials, getting
Right.
antibiotics, doing surgery, they will not
Yes.
be able to take the surgery fee. So
Yeah.
that is
Okay.
not to say that we don't have patients that have major burns and have funds and don't survive. But
Yeah.
having funds
Yeah.
contributes to recovery in my place, survival to my
Yes.
place.
Thank you. Thank you for,
Yes.
again, I'm trying to kind of show the contrast and the equity of burn care around the world. So I think it's really important to share kind of how that is in different countries, because we just have our perspective here in the U.S. and there's disparities in the U.S., but I think when we look globally, it's even greater. So, Patience, can you talk a little bit about your transition home and some of the challenges you had for that?
Yes, my challenges. I have a lot of challenges because after I was discharged at the hospital, when I came back home, it was like I will not be able to go, may not be able to go out for the rest of my life because I was not the patient that I know. I wasn't myself. I wasn't the patient everybody know. So it was so difficult for me. But the love of my family, that was my my biggest healing. So because my family stood by me, giving me all sort of advice, telling me that this is not the end of the world. This is not the end of the world. So their love went a long way for me, for my healing, and for facing the world. Going out to the world there now. The first time I started going out, so many comments, all sorts of looks. When I'm going, everybody, all eyes are on me. What is wrong with this one? What is this? So it was like I will not be able to make it. People will say all sorts of things. Is it the one that have entered a bus that you see they will be shifting? Nobody want to associate with me. Nobody want their body to touch mine. And I was like, how am I going to cope? Is it the one that have boarded a vehicle and they will come and see me and they will drive off? Nobody would like to pick me. I will be like, how am I going to face this? But with God by my side and my family, I was able to overcome it. With so many advice, encouragement from even some of the doctors. He called me to tell me I should be strong. Even the nurses, some of them were calling, how are you doing? How are you faring? You should be strong. In fact, there was a day by then, I've started getting myself a bit. So I was coming back from work because I visited once. Even I haven't resumed fully, but I normally go once at least. They should see me and see my condition or how I'm healing. So once a while I go to work. So that very day I was just coming from the office, just trying to cross a road. I now met one of the nurses and she was like, Patience, I was actually thinking about you. That each time I see your post on Facebook, WhatsApp, that she used to feel very joyful because that there are so many people that have discharged that yet they cannot come out. Some persons after they have discharged, you see them going into depression and all of that. But each time she see me, she used to be very happy, and I was so happy. I was overwhelmed. I smiled at her. She said, wow. I told her that I'm just coming from the office. She was so happy. She said I should try to encourage so many persons. I said, I'm doing that. Some persons, when they meet me, some will be courageous enough to approach me and ask me, what really happened to you? And I used to be open to any question because so many people are not aware of it. By explaining yourself, you see so many of them will get to know about bones. Some people don't believe that there is anything like bones. You see little children, maybe I'm boarded in a vehicle. You see when they are with their parents, they will be touching my skin. They will be touching. I will say, touch it very well. This thing is gas. So when your mom asks you not to go close to gas, don't go close to it because anything can happen. So you see some of them will be so afraid. My mama will now be telling us, I used to tell you, don't go close to the gas. So I'm open to any question at any time. Now I've overcome it. Anywhere at all in the world, I can enter and come out. I'm proud of myself because if this life were only for me or for others, I would have gone. But this God that gave me this life, I should be thankful and I should appreciate him. So I'm so happy. Nothing is wrong with me. I'm ever happy. In fact, I will leave us with this. I used to say, behind my scars, as in, behind my scars is my beauty. Yes, behind my scars is my beauty. And my scars does not define me. I'm still patient. Yes, so I just want to let you know how far I have recovered. Behind my scars is my beauty. And my scars does not define me. I'm patient.
Oh, that's beautiful. You mentioned somebody when we were talking that inspired you. Do you remember that conversation we had about someone from inspired you?
Yes, after I got my bond, when I there's a day I come online, so many persons will tell me about Kechi. So I now started following Kechi.
Kechi.
And Kechi, yes, the lady that had to closing in 2016. She was 16 years then. I followed her and I followed her story. And I love the way she comes out. I say, if Kechi can come out like this, why won't I come out?
Mm-hmm.
The way she carry herself about, wearing her skimpy things, looking so beautiful. I say, why can't I come out? So she really encouraged me. Each time I go online, at times I'll just type Kechi just to see her updates, what she's doing, how she's looking at the moment. Every day I used to check on her page. At times I will hi her, she will hi me too. Once in a while we just say hi to each other. I will just tell her, hi, I'm a bone patient too. I'm Patience. You understand? So she really encouraged me to move on with my life. She's, in fact, I forgot mentioning, thank you for reminding me. She one of the person that also encouraged me very well. You can see her hair with full bun. She has no hair. She will carry it about, smiling, doing all her activities. You understand? So she really encouraged me. I wish so many people will come to understand that after
Yeah.
born, there is still life.
Well, and now
After
you're doing that for others, which is so beautiful. And that is the essence of what Phoenix Society tries to do, is connect people that are a little further ahead so they can see the possibilities and the hope. And you just described that. So I think we might have a special guest today that is going to join us here.
yeah.
Kechi.
Hello. Hi guys.
I'm glad I
Patience.
meet you one-on-one today. I'm so happy. Kechi, you are welcome. Wow.
Oh
So I can
wow.
actually see you today. Wow.
How are you?
Nice
How
meeting
are you,
you.
Patience?
I'm
How are
fine,
you?
my darling. You are so beautiful.
Oh,
I love seeing this. You're so
you're
beautiful.
so sweet.
I
Thank you
admire
so
your
much. Oh,
courage.
thank you. I was
Yeah,
actually I was like
welcome.
here for the last
Yeah.
5 minutes. I was listening to you, and I'm not going to lie, like I just felt so proud, like hearing the things that you were saying, exemplifying
Wow.
everything that I believe. Like
I'm so
you're
happy.
you're literally doing what you're supposed to do. Like you have the
Yeah.
right mindset, you have the
Mhm.
right support system, you have the confidence, you built that like
Yes.
yourself. I mean, I honestly have no words.
Yes.
You're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. Like, and I need you to understand that, like,
Thank you.
honestly, me living in America, it has helped a lot in terms of like the public acceptance and reaction to like burns that are as bad as ours. But you're living in Nigeria and you have
Yes.
to like deal with coming out of your shell and embracing yourself in a country that we both know can be very judgmental and very outspoken about that judgment. It's very different from America. So I want to give you props
Mm.
for doing what you have done in a country that like literally fights against you more. You have overcome and found your confidence in a place that is not very easy to do so, even when you look normal.
Yes.
So really, really amazing to me to hear you saying things like you come out, you have people acting like you have leprosy because that's literally how they behave.
Yes.
You actually
Yes.
like deal with people driving off their cars, but like you persevered and you're not
Yes.
letting it stop you from going to work, from going
Mm.
outside. You're using it as a way to teach kids how to be careful about like, potential gas fires. I mean, I actually have no words. You're amazing. You're doing so good. And I just feel so
Thank
proud of how
you. I'm
you
so
are surviving
happy.
thriving. Like
I'm so happy.
truly, Patience. You really are.
Wow. I'm meeting Kachi today. Oh,
Oh, Kechi, I
Like
think
you're amazing.
wow.
Wow.
I'm so happy.
I'm so
Kechi,
glad.
you
So,
are
oh, I'm so happy.
I'm so glad.
I
I'm
knew
very,
this
very
would
happy.
be fun.
Honestly.
So
It's so
I,
cool.
I think the connection, again, we've always said
Ah,
community is greater than isolation, right?
Yep.
And
Yes.
I think, Kechi, I'm going to give you a little props because, representation, no matter where we live, is still an issue for the burn community. And being in a position where you are to share that story, continue to challenge people's biases and stereotypes is a job we all do every day as
Yep.
survivors.
Yep.
And walking in and stepping into our power and our advocacy is what so brings me back to work every day of seeing
Yeah.
survivors, no matter where they are,
Yeah.
to be able to step into their own power, their own person, and be who
Yeah.
they are. So
Mhm.
it's such a great message for World Burns Week. To again talk about these commonalities, the commonalities of when we are cared for and loved by our burn care professionals, how special that is to us.
Yeah.
That's common no matter where
Yeah. It
we
is.
are.
That's true. That's true.
The commonalities of when we leave, we want to make them proud. We want to make our care providers proud that we did
Mhm.
well. So I heard that in your story, Patience, and I've heard it from Kechi.
Mhm.
And the fact that we have challenges when we leave, but when we're
Mhm.
supported and we can have that perspective of someone else has done it,
Mhm.
how important that is to
yes.
take the step.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So I love this session and it's been awesome. And Kechi, I'm so glad you were doing this today
Me too.
and
I'm
meet
so glad
Patience
this worked
face.
out. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really glad.
So any
Honestly,
words from you?
this has really encouraged me, honestly, too, because I don't always know. Like, I know obviously that it's like advocacy is important. I mean, that's the main reason for my platform is for things like this. But I don't always have like confirmation that it is making like a specific difference in people's lives. I'm just doing it in general, just in case, because I know I have a lot of burn survivor eyes on me. So just in case they're watching, I always want to be myself and just show what I always preach. So having moments like this with patients of people who confirm that they are watching and they are taking these things as examples for how to think about their own scars, it encourages me so much, and it confirms that I'm whatever it is I'm meant to do with this life, at least this is one thing that I can be sure is one of them. So it makes me feel even more encouraged to continue essentially just being myself online, because I really like this kind of story. Like, hearing Patience today has really, really made an impact on me. Like, and this is like, I've been doing this for years, and I just love that moments like this can still happen. And, it just lights fire under me. So I'm really, really happy I met you today, Patience. I'm very, very happy. I'm
I'm
really
so
happy.
glad to meet you as well, Kachi. I'm overwhelmed meeting you today. In fact, you have increased
Dr.
my boldness today again. In fact, I
Yes.
will go out to the world. Yes,
That's what I like to hear. I love that.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Thank
we
you.
had to do some shuffling around to make this all happen, and
Yeah,
Dr.
we
Burns
did.
and we wanted to make this happen in live. So thank you all for being here today and sharing your perspective and your stories. In Nigeria, we welcome you into the Phoenix Society community.
Yes.
Anything you can do to continue to support your work and your
Thank
lives.
you.
Yes, Dr. Onuh, I didn't get a chance to say anything, but you're amazing, and I would love to connect with you
Oh,
offline.
thank you, Kachi. Thank you,
Yeah,
Kachi. I'm
yes.
already your follower
I don't
on
want to take. I know you
Instagram.
guys are wrapping up, so I just want to let that be known. I
Yes.
would love to connect with you online, and I feel like I just want to have a conversation with you about certain things. So thank God
Thank
for what
you.
you do. Thank God for your presence in Nigeria. We don't have a lot of that. I'm happy to hear you say it's better, because at the time when I've been trying to do things, it's not been really conducive. But hearing you today has encouraged me. So let's connect, please.
We
Yeah.
will. Thank you. Thank you, Kachi. Thank you for all you do. As Patience has said, you are really one of the models. Like, when I thought of my patients, I was like, oh, see Kachi, see the confidence, She's bold about her scars. She's wearing it with the steez and everything. So I'm proud of you and what you do. Please keep
Thank
doing
you.
it. I pray that God will continue to strengthen you. Well done, Kechi.
Amen.
Nice meeting you too.
Nice meeting you too, Dr. Onuh. Nice meeting you.
Right.
Kechi, please. Is there a way I can be able to be reaching you all
Of
the
course.
time?
Yes,
So
definitely.
that
Yeah.
I would
We'll
get
get that
more
to her.
advice from you. Tell me on what to do.
course.
Please, you just have to tell me. Listen, I will follow you for more. Yes. Please.
No problem.
Please.
I'm sure
Please.
Amy has my number, so she can definitely give it to you. Reach out. Yeah,
Yeah. We'll connect you
Okay.
guys.
please
And-
do. Yeah,
Okay.
please do.
And again,
Okay.
thank
I
you.
would really appreciate it. Bye.
Thanks, Amy.
Yeah.
We're
Thank you,
happy.
everybody. And
Thank
if-
you. Happy. Yes.
If it's available, jump on the World Burns Week their webinars every day, November 4th through the week. So we hope to see you there. And again, thanks so much for this session today.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Talk later. We'll talk offline.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
And how amazing was that podcast episode and that surprise with Kechi for Patience at the end? It was so amazing. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Amy and Dr. Onuh and Patience and our surprise guest there at the end, Kechi, for an amazing World Burns Week podcast episode. So I'm sad Amber and I couldn't be there on the screen today, but we were tuning in from behind the scenes, and we hope you join us all week long celebrating World Burns Week. You can find more information in our show notes, in our show descriptions, and we hope you'll join us on the first ever World Burns Week and enjoy. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Girls with Grafts. If you are enjoying this content, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. This helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.